Then there is this question about the memorization of the Quran, and whether the memorization of the Quran is a requirement for a scholar, for one to be a scholar. Is he required to memorize the entire Quran? I would say yes. Particularly like nowadays, I would say yes, that it is a requirement. However, the word scholar itself and the requirements for one to be a scholar, they varied greatly between different times and even different scholars. So according to Imam al-Ghazali, for instance, you don't have to memorize the whole Quran. And Imam al-Ghazali was talking about a special type of scholars, the scholars that are capable of making legal deductions, ijtihad in legal matters. So a special ranking of scholars. The Imam al-Ghazali did not consider the memorization of the whole Quran to be a requirement, but the knowledge of the ayat al-ahkam, or the ayat that pertain to the rulings in the Quran. The number of those ayat varies also between the scholars, but they are somewhere around, anywhere from 500 to 700, or a little bit more than 700 verses. So although it has been controversial, and it is not a requirement according to all of the scholars, it's not a requirement by consensus, but I would say in our times, this is what we should get people to do. The first thing on their path to scholarship, we should tell them, focus on the Quran first. Focus on the Quran first, memorize the Quran first, and then move on to the rest, so that he is moving in the right order, and so that he has a nucleus, and then he builds on this nucleus. And the Quran should be the hardcore in, the inner hardcore of his knowledge should be the Quran, the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Doesn't it deserve to be the inner hardcore of one's knowledge? It does, for sure. It is the nucleus, and then he builds around it. Next to it would be the Sunnah, and then various disciplines of knowledge depending on his inclination and his aspirations.